announcements.
Honourable members, I have a few announcements. Firstly, regarding the incident of Tuesday last, which arose in the office of the clerk pertaining to the modality for the drawing of lots for parliamentary questions. I wish to clarify the process for the drawing of lots of parliamentary questions has always been and is still being conducted as per the terms of the agreement signed between the whips on 18th March 2022, which specifically makes mention of numbers. At no point in time does the said agreement make mention of the names of honourable members or the subject matter of the PQs. Honourable members will recall that the said agreement was laid on the table of the Assembly on Tuesday, 29th March 2022. Moreover, I wish to confirm that the drawing of lots is purely administrative exercise over which the Speaker does not exercise any control whatsoever. The more so that the Speaker is not present during the balloting. I also wish to highlight that regarding the allegations leveled against me to the effect that I have a secret code to manipulate the results of the balloting exercise, I wish to inform honourable members that the existence of any secret code is only fictitious and purely a creation of the imagination of the honourable member. Should any member in this House have any doubt about the process, I humbly invite any member to go to the police station, nearest police station, or to the court to address the problem. My second is in regard to the statement made in the media by some opposition members, in particular, Honourable Asiavaden, on Tuesday, 30th April 2024, following the incident which arose in the office of a clerk regarding the modalities for the drawing of lots for the ranking of parliamentary questions for today's sittings. Honourable Asiavaden is reported to have insinuated that there was tricage, mardai, and magouille in the balloting process. As a Speaker, I strongly condemn the manner in which the honourable member publicly attacked the integrity of the acting clerk and the officers of the National Assembly, in particular lady officers, in the performance of their duties. I leave this highly condemnable behaviour on the part of the honourable member to the appreciation of honourable members and the public at large. Honourable members, my third announcement, I wish to inform the House that I have received a letter from the Honourable Asiavaden entitled Drawing Lots for Parliamentary Questions. I'm tabling a copy of the letter. In that letter, the honourable member has accused me of, I quote, unilateral and hijacking of the drawing of lots exercise, and in so doing, having turned the transparent exercise into an opaque and undemocratic stratagem destined to relegate opposition PQs in favour of government PQs. I just want to highlight that the first question for the PMQT is from the opposition, and the first question for other ministers is from the opposition also. In that same letter, the honorable member, in a most threatening manner, in an attempt to intimidate me in the function of a speaker, is calling on me to, I quote, to put an end to my unlawful acts and doings, and to forthwith restore and implement the terms of the agreement, failing which legal actions will be taken against me, and denunciation letters will be sent to parliamentary democracies across the world. To that effect, honorable members, I can only reply that there is no question of restoring or implementing the terms of the agreement, as the drawing of lots is being carried out in accordance with the same terms which the honorable member has in his possession, and as stated in my first announcement. Finally, I consider the letter to be threatening, and the accusations made therein are unfounded, malicious, vile, and of bad faith, made intentionally to cast doubt on my character and personality in the discharge of my function as a speaker. It is worth noting that there has been suspensions in the House of Commons in respect of the terms of a letter addressed by a member to the Speaker and of his conduct in the House on preceding days. And this is in Asking May 25th edition. I'm tabling a copy of the letter, as I said. And now, I would ask Honorable Member, Honorable Patrick Achiabaden, if he still maintains whatever he said in the press, in the letter, if he's still maintaining his declarations or written letter, or if he's prepared to apologize.
Monsieur le Président, il est clair que l'agreement qui a été signé dans le temps entre le Chief Government Whip, l'honorable Ramiad, et le Opposition Whip, l'honorable Patrice Armance, n'a pas été respecté. Ceci dit, je peux déposer à l'Assemblée nationale, vous m'en permettez?
Excuse me, I have not asked for your explanation. This is an announcement. This is an announcement. There is no debate. I am asking you, do you maintain what you said in your letter, or are you withdrawing the content of your letter? Do you maintain or you're withdrawing? You have a chance.
Monsieur le Président, je n'ai pas besoin de chance. Je maintiens ce que j'ai dit parce que l'allocation est faite dans l'opacité totale.
Okay. I am satisfied that this goes in Hansard, that you maintain in the Assembly today, the 7th of May, 1140, that you maintain whatever you said in your letter. That goes in Hansard. Therefore, honorable members, in the circumstances, I leave the matter in the hands of the House.
Papers have been laid. Questions?
Mr. Speaker, I've given private notice to the Honourable Prime Minister in the following terms, whether in regard to inquiries instituted by investigative authorities on the contracts awarded during COVID-19 period of 2020 for medical equipment, sanitary products and other related items, he will state if members of the high-level committee on the COVID-19 pandemic, including his good self, have been questioned in relation thereto, and B, for the benefit of the House, obtain information as to if the investigation has revealed the involvement of late Mr. SK and other persons as intermediary thereinto.
Mr. Speaker, sir, as the House is aware, the world has had to face an unprecedented health crisis following the outbreak of the COVID-19 pandemic, resulting in the death of more than 7 million persons. In regard to Mauritius, I must say that thanks to the foresight and proactive measures taken by the government, we were able to save lives and livelihood and minimize casualties. The success of our COVID-19 management strategies was acknowledged even by the World Health Organization in its September 2020 report on best practices and experience of Mauritius preparedness and response to the COVID-19 pandemic. I would like to quote from the concluding remarks of the report, which stated as follows, and I quote, "Within less than 2 months, Mauritius moved from sporadic cases to clusters, to local transmission, to eventually reach the containment of COVID-19 with its whole of government and whole of society approach. The country had the combination of capacities, resources, strong political commitment, and community engagement to halt the local transmission of COVID-19. Robust experience in surveillance and contact tracing, and the systematic quarantining of repatriated Mauritians, as well as the massive scaling up of testing, were vital to this success. The relatively low prevalence of COVID-19 in the country had reduced the burden of case management from the public health system. Using its strong diplomatic ties and rallying all concerned stakeholders, Mauritius has mitigated the threat of disrupted supply chains for medical products. With a comprehensive understanding of the impact of the pandemic of the livelihood and vulnerable populations, the government had promptly implemented several socio-economic measures to reduce financial hardship and ensure food security." Unquote. Mr. Speaker, sir, it is in the context of our response to the COVID-19 pandemic that the high-level committee was set up by Cabinet as early as January 2020 to coordinate and monitor government response to the pandemic. The high-level committee was composed, amongst others, of the Deputy Prime Minister, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Regional Integration and International Trade, the Minister of Finance, Economic Planning and Development, the Minister of Labour, Human Resources, Development and Training, the Minister of Commerce and Consumer Protection, the Minister of Health and Wellness, the representative of the World Health Organization in Mauritius, Dr. Gu, the technical advisor at the Ministry of Health and Wellness, the Commissioner of Police, other senior officials and advisors of ministries and departments concerned. Other ministers and officers were co-opted as and when required. Mr. Speaker, sir, to remind, it was under the stewardship of the high-level COVID committee that many bold and decisive measures were taken, including timely implementation of quarantine measures and designation of new quarantine facilities, posting of medical and non-medical staff from the Ministry of Health and Wellness to all quarantine centers, extension of the total ban on travelers to enter the territory of Mauritius, suspension of all flights to Rodrigues so as to keep the island free from COVID-19, taking preventive measures to also protect the island of Agaliga, making of numerous and relevant legislation to deal specifically with the COVID-19 pandemic. Concurrent closing of all trading premises as an additional measure to prevent the spread of the virus. Maintaining strict control and monitoring at port level, including systematic checks for all cruise ship passengers entering the Mauritian territory, while applying entry restrictions that were ongoing for various countries and parts of the world. Ensure the timely procurement of medical supplies and protective equipment. Targeted screening campaign for COVID-19 using rapid antigen tests. Creation of a hotline 8924 for all matters related to COVID-19 and health issues. Undertaking massive education and sensitization campaigns in the media on preventive and hygiene measures, including the creation of a dedicated web page and mobile app, and putting into place a home visit system for urgent cases necessitating medical intervention. Mr. Speaker, sir, as highlighted in my reply to the private notice question on 6th of April 2021, the high-level committee had been mandated by Cabinet to coordinate and monitor actions taken by ministries, departments, and other stakeholders in relation to our national response to the pandemic. Cabinet was apprised on a weekly basis on the prevailing situation and of the actions taken by the concerned institutions, and policy decisions were taken by Cabinet as appropriate. I also underscored the fact that the high-level committee, being a coordinating body, each minister forming part of the committee, was required to ensure that recommendations pertaining to his ministry and departments falling under his portfolio were documented and submitted to Cabinet for further consideration and approval. All decisions taken at the level of Cabinet were recorded and transmitted to the relevant ministries for necessary actions at their respective end. Mr. Speaker, sir, it is in the public domain that the former Independent Commission Against Corruption had initiated an inquiry into the issue of procurement of medical supplies and equipment during the COVID-19 period. As the House is also aware, following the coming into effect of the Financial Crimes Commission Act, all ongoing investigations by the defunct ICAC have been taken over by the Financial Crimes Commission. Section 161 of the Financial Crimes Commission Act provides as follows, and I quote, on confidentiality, subsection 1. The Director General, every commissioner, every officer, every member of the Parliamentary Committee, every member of the Operations Review Committee, every member of the National Coordination Committee, and every member of the Public-Private Partnership Task Force shall take the oath of confidentiality in the form set out in the second schedule. Subsection 2, no person referred to in subsection 1 shall, except in accordance with this act, or as otherwise authorized by law or directed by a court of law, A, divulge any information obtained in the discharge of his functions or exercise of his powers under this act. B, divulge the source of such information or the identity of any informer or the maker, writer, or issuer of a report given to the Commission. And subsection 3, every person referred to in subsection 1 shall maintain the confidentiality and secrecy of any matter, document, report, and other information relating to the administration of this act that becomes known to him or comes in his possession or under his control. Subsection 4, notwithstanding subsections 2 and 3, the Director General may disclose, for the purpose of publication in the press or to a law enforcement authority, such information as he considers necessary in the public interest. Subsection 5, for the purpose of an investigation in respect of an offense committed in Mauritius or abroad under this Act, or for any asset recovery investigation, the Director General may impart to any authority in Mauritius or abroad such information other than the source of the information as may appear to him to be necessary to assist the investigation. And subsection 6, any person who without lawful excuse contravenes this section shall commit an offense and shall on conviction be liable to a fine not exceeding 1 million rupees and to imprisonment for a term not exceeding 5 years. Unquote. Mr. Speaker, sir, I am advised that by virtue of Section 161 of the Financial Crimes Commission Act, no information relating to any investigation can be divulged, and the exception for the disclosure of information provided for under Section 161, subsection 4 of the Financial Crimes Commission Act would not apply to parliamentary questions. Mr. Speaker, sir, as far as I am concerned, I can say that I have not so far been questioned by any investigating body. In that regard, to the other members of the high-level committee, I am not in a position to state whether any one of them has been questioned by the defunct ICAC or the Financial Crimes Commission. Mr. Speaker, sir, in regard to Part B of the question, I am informed by the Commissioner of Police that on 18th of October 2020, the Criminal Investigation Division of Quartier Militaire and Police of Mocha carried out an inquiry into the cause of death of Mr. SK. On 12th of November 2020, the case was referred to the Major Crime Investigation Team, being a specialized unit dealing with cases of homicide. The police inquiry is still ongoing. As regards the aspects of the police inquiry regarding procurement during COVID-19 pandemic, that part of the inquiry had been forwarded to the defunct ICAC for further investigations as it fell within its mandate, and again by virtue of Section 161 of the Financial Crimes Commission Act, no information can be disclosed. Mr. Speaker, sir, I would like to point out the fact that since 2015, government has taken a series of initiatives to fight fraud, corruption, and other financial crimes in all aspects of public life and restore our national values. These initiatives include the following: the enactment of a new Declaration of Assets Act, the introduction of electronic procurement system in the public sector, the implementation of the National Open Data Portal to enable citizens to freely access information on what the government is doing, the implementation of the public sector transformation strategy, the implementation of a host of measures to comply with the requirements of the Financial Action Task Force, and the enactment of the Financial Crimes Commission Act. Mr. Speaker, sir, as the House is already aware, government has also circulated a draft bill on political financing, the objective of which is precisely to introduce transparency and accountability in political finance. It is, however, a matter of regret that the opposition is once again opposing the proposed legislation. I will leave it to the population to judge. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Could the Honorable Prime Minister inform the House whether any of the members of the high-level committee that he has made mention of, including himself, have been contacted by potential suppliers during that period referred to in the question?
Well, I'm not aware if any member has been contacted by potential suppliers. I wouldn't know.
If the Prime Minister has been contacted personally, he would be aware. If at all, not the other members, but you personally, he would be aware.
Well, if I have been contacted personally, of course I will be aware.
So the answer is yes or no?
Whether I have been contacted personally? Well, I can recall that at the level of the high-level committee on COVID-19, we had received communication from, maybe I cannot recall the exact number, but I know from several suppliers, and those communications have been referred to the ministries concerned for them to look into the content of the communication and to see whether any appropriate action that has to be taken.
Is the Honorable Prime Minister aware that Honorable Jagat Pal, Honorable Yogida Swaminathan, including himself through email, have been contacted, and SK, deceased, there's a mail trail that shows that for COVID equipment, there has been contact where he is also involved with one Mr. SM, certainly not me.
Well,
is he aware?
Mr. Speaker, sir, I cannot answer for other people. I can answer for myself. Yes, I have received a communication. I can say through email dated the 21st of April 2020 from one company. I cannot recall. Well, anyway, I have the email, and that email was communicated to my private office on the 21st of April, and my private office has forwarded that email on the 22nd of April to the Ministry of Health, because it concerned medical equipment, and I cannot say what was the outcome of this communication to the Ministry of Health. I can also say that on the 24th, yes, what I can say also is on the 24th, well, on whatever communication we had received at the level of my office had been communicated to the ministries concerned.
Does the Honorable Prime Minister know, Mr. Speaker, that this communication is from one Mr. SM, and the company from which he received it is from IOPL? This has been produced before the District Court of Mocha during judicial inquiry, by the way. And could he also, is he aware that his then minister, Honorable Yogida Swaminathan, using his personal mail, yogida@itnet.mu, was contacted by the deceased Kistnen, and he, Yogida Swaminathan, asked for details pertaining to the equipment that was being proposed?
Well, again, I cannot reply for, Yeah, but you have a copy. Well, I have that copy which you are going to. Yes, I have that copy. It has been published anyway. But, oh, but Mr. Speaker, sir, maybe I can have a copy of what the honorable member is mentioning. Again, if I can say, with regard to communication that has been received at my office, has been forwarded to the ministries concerned. Now, it will be for the inquiry to establish what has been the outcome with regard to this communication. Now, yeah, let me, I'm having a look at this, but you ask a question you don't want me to answer and you say time is running out. What is this?
Please,
You want to make
continue.
a,
Why?
well, first of all, I cannot vouch myself for this document which you are producing. I cannot say whether it is in fact a communication to Mr. Yogida Sominaden. But what I can see in the mail, what does it say? It says, can I have the full and technical details of the test kits? Then I will submit same to the Ministry of Health for their comments. So don't mention only that there has been a communication from one to the other. Be of good faith and mention also what the Mr. Sominaden has been saying in the mail for onward transmission to the Ministry of Health, just as what we have done also at the level of my ministry.
The Honorable Prime Minister also confirmed that in this mail that he is holding in his hand right now that he is standing by, it is also the deceased Kistnen that is involved in the mail trail as a middleman?
Well, I don't see Mr. SK as the middleman. I see this has been kind regards Mr. SM, Procurement and Logistics Manager of IOPL International Limited. And maybe I can add to enlighten the Honorable Leader of the Opposition. I was looking at the list of suppliers that has been awarded contract for medical equipment. And I don't see anywhere, unless I need to check further, because I tried since this morning with the time that was allocated to me. I don't see IOPL anywhere having been awarded any contract whatsoever.
The issue is not about award of contract. Is it normal within his cabinet that ministers use their personal email and go and flout Directive 44, which was issued during COVID period for procurement?
Well, Mr. Speaker, sir, I can say one thing. At that time, during the pandemic, there was a situation where we in fact had to purchase medical equipment, test kits, and so on. And there were suppliers who were willing to supply, probably, and they were communicating with the different ministries and governments. And then they had been sending their representations. They have been making representations with regard to the products that they wanted to sell. So I think it was not only in Mauritius, all around the world it was like that. So those offers that were being made was, of course, looked into by the ministries concerned, and the proper procurement process had to be adopted.
Mr. Speaker, could the Honorable Prime Minister, if he is not aware, I mean, I'm sure he is, Directive 44, issued by the Procurement Policy Office, paragraph 2(4). It says that all proceedings relating to emergency procurement shall be recorded. Now, have those exchanges where that person, SM, refers to Dear Mr. Jagatpal, Yogida, and yourself as Dear Mr. Praveen, have they been submitted in the proceedings of the high-powered committee for the procurement process?
Well, again, if the Honorable Leader of the Opposition would have listened to me carefully, I had stated, and that was also to a reply that was put to a PNQ of the former leader of the opposition. The high-powered committee was not a committee to take decisions for acquisition of equipment and medication and so on. The high-powered committee was a platform, first of all, to coordinate issues with regard to COVID, and also to gather all the information locally and internationally in order that we would be able to strategize our action against the COVID-19 pandemic. And there were recommendations that were made, and it was, of course, left for the ministries concerned to eventually, of course, take the matter to cabinet, and for cabinet to take a final decision on those measures that had to be taken. So the honorable member has mentioned, you mentioned Directive 44. Well, let me read it because what is may resort to emergency? Okay. So it says to combat the spread of COVID-19 virus in Mauritius, public bodies may resort to emergency procurement to procure goods, works, and other services, which has as objective to safeguard that. Yeah, but I'm looking at it. I have. What do you think? But I have to look at it. Do you think I have it in my mind? Yeah. So this directive sets the following procedures, and the items to be procured must be of use, and so on and so on. So, of course, the ministries that have undertaken the procurement would have had to abide by all the conditions that have been laid down by Directive 44.
The Director of Audit's report, as well as the second report to the Public Accounts Committee, published on the 10th of March 2022, states therein at page 4 that no record was kept in respect of the choice of suppliers and the reasonableness of the prices quoted by them in breach of Directive 44 and of the Public Procurement Act. And they go on to say in that particular report that officers of the ministry said they only acted upon instructions received from their minister. Here, referring specifically to Honorable Yogida Sominaden, who en passant used his personal email address to try to act as a middleman. Can therefore the Honorable Prime Minister say, how does he reconcile what he's saying today with what is the Director of Audit report and the Public Accounts Committee report, second, which is the 10th of March 2022, with what he's saying today, because it doesn't make sense. He's giving a different version.
Well, I'm not giving any different version, Mr. Speaker, sir. What I'm saying is there is an inquiry which is ongoing, and it will be for the inquiry to determine any matter or anything with regard to either the legality or the regulations that are in place, so that the investigating body will have to see whether there has been any omission or not, and by whom also.
4 years have passed, Honorable Mr. Speaker, sir. The Honorable Prime Minister can tell us. 4 years, long years have passed, and we're at the eve of general elections. Will the Prime Minister therefore tell us why is it that they are so slow to act when it comes to reports of maldone, corruption, malpractice by members of his government, but so fast pour dégainer when it comes to members of the opposition and those who oppose him?
Totally unacceptable, and of course I reject these comments of the leader of the opposition. The investigative bodies are doing and carrying out their investigation. Of course, there are certain cases that takes time. For example, the case, well, he's talking about corruption. How dare he talks about corruption when his leader has been caught with a coffer of 230 million rupees, $3 million coming from a foreign bank. And he dares talk about corruption, and he's going to give us lesson about corruption. Enfin, Monsieur le Président, I think they have to look at themselves first of all. And we'll see later on what will come out also. But there is an investigation. As I say, it will be for the FCC and for police, of course, to continue with the investigation. And we all want, ultimately, if there is anyone who has gone against the law, but that person or whoever will be taken to task.
Time over. Continue, team. B. The chair is very happy with a good mood in the House. B 270.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I am informed by the Commissioner of Police that the term rave party is neither defined nor covered in our domestic legislations. I therefore presume that the honourable member is referring to unlawful public gathering. As regards the holding of public gatherings, meetings and entertainment, the Commissioner of Police has to be accordingly notified by virtue of Public Gatherings Act 1991. Mr. Speaker, sir, in regard to Part A of the question, I am informed by the Commissioner of Police that from 1st of May 2023 to 2nd of May 2024, there has been one unlawful public gathering detected where dangerous drugs were suspected to be consumed. Details pertaining to the case are as follows. On Saturday, 11th of November 2023, at 22:45 hours, following information received that an unlawful public gathering was taking place on a private premises found along Fond du Sac Branch Road, Triolet. Police officers of the Special Striking Team and the Flying Squad of the Anti-Drug and Smuggling Unit effected a raid thereat. On the spot, police searched several persons present and different substances suspected to be dangerous drugs were secured from 5 of them. The nature, quantity, and estimated street value of the drugs seized are as follows. 28 units of handmade cigarettes containing cannabis of a street value of 5,600 rupees. 2.12 grams of cannabis leaves of a street value of 2,544 rupees. 5 units of cannabis seeds of a street value of 500 rupees. 2.17 grams of cocaine of a street value of 32,550 rupees. 0.01 gram of hashish of a street value of 100 rupees, 5 grams of methylene dioxy, methamphetamine, MDMA, of a street value of 75,000 rupees, and a certain quantity of colorless liquid. The substances were thereafter sent to the Forensic Science Laboratory for examination. Mr. Speaker, sir, in regard to Part B of the question, I am informed by the Commissioner of Police that during the raid, 5 persons were arrested and brought for inquiry after being found in possession of substances suspected to be dangerous drugs as follows. 1, Mr. M.R.A., 33 years, event organizer, he was found in possession of the following. A. 12 handmade cigarettes containing tobacco mixed with suspected cannabis leaves of a street value of 2,400 rupees. B. 1.1 gram of a white substance suspected to be cocaine of a street value of 16,500 rupees. C. 3.6 grams of a pink substance suspected to be MDMA of a street value of 54,000 rupees. And D. 1.1 grams of leaf matter suspected to be cannabis of a street value of 1,320 rupees. He was detained at Mocha Detention Center on Sunday, 12th of November 2023. A provisional charge for drug dealing, possession of dangerous drugs for the purpose of distribution was lodged against him before the weekend court. Police objected to his release on bail. His defense counsel moved for a bail hearing on the same day. During the bail hearing, police objected to the release of the accused on bail. The magistrate allowed him bail, provided that on Monday, 13th of November 2023, he would appear before the District Court of Pamplemousses. On Monday, 13th of November 2023, he appeared before the District Magistrate of Pamplemousses Court on a fresh provisional charge for the same above-mentioned offense, and he was bailed out after furnishing a surety of 25,000 rupees and a recognizance of 100,000 rupees with the condition that he should report to Troubiche Police Station every Friday between 6 o'clock in the morning and 2100 hours. His next court appearance was fixed for 2nd of April 2024. On Tuesday, 2nd of April 2024, he appeared before the Pamplemousses Court, where his bail has been enlarged up to the 8th of October 2024. Second, Mr. M.F.J.N., 32 years, graphic designer, freelance. He was found in possession of the following: A. 1.02 gram of leaf matter suspected to be cannabis of a street value of 1,224 rupees. B. 0.01 gram substance suspected to be hashish of a street value of 100 rupees. And C. 16 handmade cigarettes containing tobacco mixed with suspected cannabis leaves of a street value of 3,200 rupees. He was detained at the police cell of Rosil Police Station on Sunday, 12th of November 2023. A provisional charge for drug dealing, possession of dangerous drugs for the purpose of distribution was lodged against him before the weekend court. Police objected to his release on bail. He was remanded to police cell and his statement was recorded on the same day. On Monday, 13th of November 2023, he appeared before the District Magistrate of Pamplemousses Court on a fresh provisional charge for the above-mentioned offense. He was bailed out after furnishing a surety of 20,000 rupees and a recognizance of 100,000 rupees with the condition that he should report to Grand Bay Police Station every Thursday between 6 o'clock in the morning and 2100 hours. His next court appearance was fixed for 2nd of April 2024. On Tuesday, 2nd of April 2024, he appeared before the Pamplemousses Court, where his bail has been enlarged up to 8th of October 2024. Third case, Mr. AYB, 33 years, self-employed. He was found in possession of 1 gram of a substance suspected to be MDMA of a street value of 15,000 rupees. Following preliminary inquiry by police, he was released on parole on the same night on condition to report to police on Monday, 13th of November 2023 for court procedures. On Monday, 13th of November 2023, a provisional charge for possession of dangerous drug was lodged against him before the district magistrate of Pamplemousse's court. He was bailed out after furnishing a surety of 25,000 rupees and a recognizance of 100,000 rupees with the condition that he should report to Plaine des Papayes police station every Thursday between 6 o'clock in the morning and 2100 hours, and his next court appearance was fixed for 2nd of April 2024. On Tuesday, 2nd of April 2024, he appeared before the Pamplemousse's court, where his bail has been enlarged up to 8th of October 2024. Fourth case, Mr. MSHS, 29 years, food delivery rider. He was found in possession of the following: A, 1.07 grams of substance suspected to be cocaine of a street value of 16,050 rupees, and B, 0.4 gram of brown solid mass suspected to be MDMA of a street value of 6,000 rupees. He was detained at the police cell of Midlands Police Station on Sunday, 12th of November 2023. A provisional charge for drug dealing, possession of dangerous drug for the purpose of distribution was lodged against him before the weekend court. Police objected to his release on bail and he was remanded to police cell. On Monday, 13th of November 2023, he appeared before the district magistrate of Pamplemousse's court on a fresh provisional charge for the above-mentioned offence. He was bailed out after furnishing a surety of 25,000 rupees and a recognizance of 100,000 rupees with the condition that he should report to Plaine des Papayes police station every Thursday and Saturday between 6 o'clock in the morning and 2100 hours. His next court appearance was fixed for 2nd of April 2024. On Tuesday, 2nd of April 2024, he appeared before the Pamplemousse's court, where his bail has been enlarged up to 8th of October 2024. Fifth case, Mr. TFH, 19 years, machine operator. He was found in possession of the following: A, a blue glass bottle of a capacity of 22 ml, half filled with a liquid suspected to be dangerous drug. B, 5 cannabis seeds of a street value of 500 rupees. He was allowed to go after his defense statement has been recorded. On Sunday, 12th of November 2023, a certain Mr. HKL, 36 years, mechanic and owner of the private premises along Font-du-Sac Branch Road, Triolet, was brought for inquiry in connection with the above-mentioned cases. Inquiries into the above cases are still in progress. Mr. Speaker, sir, on several occasions, I have already mentioned the plethora of measures taken by relevant authorities, ministries, and departments to fight the drug scourge. The huge seizure of drugs by the police demonstrates the sustained and successful crusade under my government against drug trafficking and drug abuse. During the period January 2015 to 2nd of May 2024, 28,708 cases have been detected, and 24,493 suspects were arrested. Regarding drug seizures, the estimated street value of drugs seized in respect of these cases stood at around 16 billion rupees. We, as a responsible government, are very much aware that this scourge is one of the most complex problems of our time, and that it can be more effectively addressed only when we pull together our efforts regionally and internationally to foster better cooperation and act collectively. We, as a committed government, have engaged ourselves in a relentless war against the drug scourge. A lot has been done, and we are pursuing our efforts as the world of drugs is ever changing, as the horrendous business of drug keeps on expanding and flourishing at the cost of human lives. This situation calls not only for concerted reflection, but action collaboration at different levels, starting right from policymakers, program implementers, and the public at large. Mr. Speaker, sir, it is with this objective that my office organized a first preparatory conference on substance abuse for countries of the Western Indian Ocean region in April 2023. The conference recommended a holistic, integrated, transversal approach and regional cooperative approach to address illegal drug trafficking and consumption through four main strategic intervention areas, namely 1. Prevention, 2. Breaking the supply chain by tracking drug traffickers and their networks, 3. Improving health and social services, and 4. Strengthening regional and international cooperation. Mr. Speaker, sir, in April this year, my office, in collaboration with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Regional Integration and International Trade, and the Indian Ocean Commission, organized the first ministerial conference on drug trafficking and substance abuse in the Western Indian Ocean in April 2024. A ministerial declaration for enhancing regional and international cooperation against drug trafficking and drug use in the Western Indian Ocean has been adopted by some 180 participants from 24 countries, 12 international organizations, concerned ministries and departments, and local non-governmental organizations and civil societies which participated in the conference. The conference provided a platform for high-level policy dialogue to forge collective actions for improving the Western Indian Ocean capabilities to deal with the demand and supply side challenges relating to illicit drug trafficking, and to work on the recommendations made by the regional conference in April 2023. Mr. Speaker, sir, the United States has launched the Global Coalition Against Synthetic Drugs and is working with over 130 interested countries and key international organizations to respond to this major public health challenge. The Global Coalition to Address Synthetic Drug Threats will help accelerate efforts against illicit synthetic drugs and employ coordinated approaches to prevent illicit drug manufacturing, detect emerging drug threats, disrupt trafficking, address illicit finance, and respond to public safety and public health impacts. Mauritius is fully committed to the US-led initiative and forms part of the coalition. Mauritius has joined the coalition since November 2023. The Mauritius Revenue Authority, the Ministry of Health and Wellness, the National Drug Secretariat of my office, ADSU, and FSL form part of the three working groups which have been set up under the US Global Coalition. Mr. Speaker, sir, with a view to strengthening regional collaboration in our fight against illicit activities, my office has renewed its bilateral collaboration with Réunion Island through the Groupe de Contact with a view to combating, amongst others, drug trafficking, illegal immigration, and money laundering around our two borders and within our exclusive economic zones. On 20th of February 2024, a technical agreement on the fight against drugs and psychotropic substances between the government of Mauritius and the French government was signed with a view to, 1, strengthening of professional competencies and operational expertise, 2, promoting the mutual support at regional level, and 3, enhancing the mutual knowledge of methodologies and procedures. Mr. Speaker, sir, I would like to bring to the attention of the House that Mauritius is a pioneering nation in the sub-Saharan Africa to have instituted a methadone substitution therapy program for individuals injecting drugs. In an effort to streamline access to drug-related services for drug users, an addiction unit has been established within each of the 5 regional hospitals across the island. Furthermore, specialized drug-related services have been implemented for minors, adolescents, and women. We recognize that drug addiction is a disease, and those afflicted are grappling with a medical condition necessitating treatment, care, and support. Individuals using drugs are guided towards a drug users administrative panel to undergo a suitable treatment and rehabilitation program, rather than being immediately referred to the criminal justice system. Mr. Speaker, sir, I also wish to apprise the House that as the National Drug Control Master Plan was approaching its conclusion in 2023, government sought the cooperation of the United Nations agencies to conduct an independent evaluation of the progress made and the new challenges encountered. This evaluation will serve as the foundation for the next course of action. The goal is to devise an evidence-based and effective strategic response to the drug menace in Mauritius. The evaluation endeavor has been commended for its commitment and transparency by the Independent Evaluation Section of the United Nations, as well as by the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime. A side event was organized during the 67th Commission on Narcotic Drugs in Vienna, held between 14th and 22nd of March 2024, to showcase this exemplary initiative undertaken by Mauritius. Mr. Speaker, sir, my government has made significant strides in tackling the drug issue. We are fearlessly pursuing the combat against this scourge by adopting a multifaceted approach that encompasses all aspects of the problem, including actions in the domains of health, education, and public safety, amongst others. Protecting our citizens and ensuring their safety and security remain one of our top priorities. Accordingly, this government has allocated and will continue to provide the necessary resources required to provide modern security logistics, equipment, trained human resources, and infrastructural facilities on land and sea to meet the expectations of the population. We have demonstrated our strong political will to do whatever is required to relentlessly track the drug traffickers and other criminals and bring them to justice. Thank you.
Mr. Speaker, the Honourable Prime Minister, referring to the rave party of the 11th November 2023, mentioned that the total street value of the drug seized was approximately, when I compute everything, 120,000 rupees. How does the Honourable Prime Minister reconcile this statement with what ASP AJ of the Special Striking Team stated on radio following the seizure, and I quote, "Nous avons été surpris par la quantité de drogue saisie." So who is saying, is Mr. Jagai saying that there was a lot of drug, or is today the Prime Minister confirming that in fact there was not so much drug seized on that day?
Well, I'm not aware what Mr. Jagai has been saying, where he said that. What I'm aware is what I've been provided with as information. This is what I have, and I've replied to the honorable member.
Prime Minister started by saying that rave party is more like unauthorized public gathering where there's been drugs circulated. And I agree with him, there's no definition in law about rave party. So doesn't the Honorable Prime Minister find it odd that in that unauthorized gathering where there was many people, only 5 people was arrested? Is it because, as stated by Mr. ASP AG in the press, il y avait des personnes de très haut de la société? Is that the reason why these people were not arrested?
I know who the honorable member is referring to.
Well, you have to ask ASP Ashit Jagai. He said it.
Well, you come and you quote anything. Well, c'est, Monsieur le Président, l'honorable membre qui est un juriste sait pertinemment bien qu'est-ce que c'est que hearsay. Il vient, moi, vous savez, je peux moi aussi venir à la Chambre et dire un tel a dit ceci. Qu'est-ce que vous avez à dire? Enfin, soyons sérieux. Ouais, quand vous parlez de très haute personnalité, dites ce que vous savez, qui est cette personnalité. Vous n'êtes pas capable de dire, Je vous défie, je vous mets au défi de venir dire dans cette Chambre qui est cette personnalité.
Honorable Two.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. Can the Honorable Prime Minister state the number of applications in respect of public entertainment events under the Public Gatherings 1991, Act 1991, registered since 2015 to date, indicating the number of applications that were approved and the number rejected?
Well, Mr. Speaker, sir, I am informed by the Commissioner of Police that since 2015 to 4th of May 2024, there have been 592 applications for public entertainment under the Public Gatherings Act, out of which 542 were approved, 28 rejected, and 12 cancelled. Public entertainment is defined in the Act as meaning dancing, singing, or music, charity bazaars, stage plays, or performances, cinematograph exhibitions, given or held indoors or outdoors, to which the public or any section of the public has been convened or is entitled or permitted to have access, whether on payment or otherwise. Thank you.
Next question.
Thank you, Speaker, sir. B271, thank you.
Mr. Speaker, sir, the Mauritius Police Force, being the main law enforcement agency in the country, needs to have an adequate pool of officers to maintain a congenial climate of peace and harmony within our territory. Accordingly, human resources is considered as the most important asset of any organization. The Mauritius Police Force should therefore align its workforce with the organization's needs to ensure the latter has sufficient number of trained and experienced police officers at every operational level to deliver service to the community in an effective and efficient manner. Two essential components of organizational growth and success are recruitment and promotion. Regular recruitment in the Mauritius Police Force ensures that the force stays updated with the latest skills, knowledge, and technologies in law enforcement. As new recruits come in, they bring new blood in the organization, which benefits the entire force. Mr. Speaker, sir, the power for recruitment and promotion in the Mauritius Police Force is vested with the Disciplined Forces Service Commission, which, in accordance with Section 118(4) of the Constitution, is not subject to the direction or control of any other person or authority in the exercise of its function. As per Regulation 14(1) of the Disciplined Forces Service Commission regulations, the Commission shall have regard primarily to the efficiency of the force in selecting candidates for appointment and promotions. I am informed by the Commissioner of Police that recruitment in the Mauritius Police Force is made at 2 entry levels, namely at the level of temporary police constable and at the level of cadet officer. For the post of temporary police constable, candidates have to meet the set criteria and have to undergo a series of tests and interview by the Disciplined Forces Service Commission. Thereafter, the list of selected candidates is communicated to the Commissioner of Police for enlistment. The temporary police constables then have to undergo a foundation course comprising 6 months training either at the police training school, the special mobile force, the special supporting unit, or the National Coast Guard, followed by 6 months on the job training prior to their appointment as police constable. The Disciplined Forces Service Commission also initiates procedures for the enlistment of qualified candidates to the post of cadet officer in different fields in the Mauritius Police Force. After recruitment, the cadet officers have to undergo local and overseas training courses in general policing duties, as well as in their respective specialized fields. Mr. Speaker, sir, I am informed by the Commissioner of Police that between 2015 to date, 3,461 trainee police constables and 28 cadet officers have been recruited in the Mauritius Police Force as follows. For the year 2015, 666 trainee police constables were recruited. For the year 2016, 561 trainee police constables were recruited, out of which 472 were male and 89 were female. For the year 2017, 219 trainee police constables were recruited, out of which 195 were male and 24 were female. For the year 2018, 3 cadet officers were recruited, out of which there were 2 male officers and 1 female officer. For the year 2019, 488 trainee police constables were recruited, out of which 391 were male and 97 were female. In the same year, 23 cadet officers were recruited, with 19 male officers and 4 female officers. No recruitment was made in the year 2020 due to the COVID-19 pandemic. For the year 2021, 464 trainee police constables were recruited, out of which 370 were male and 94 were female. For the year 2022, 406 trainee police constables were recruited, out of which 308 were male and 98 were female, along with 1 cadet officer, male. And for the year 2023, 657 trainee police constables were recruited, out of which 548 were male and 109 were female, along with 1 female cadet officer. Mr. Speaker, sir, for the year 2024, I am informed by the Commissioner of Police that procedures have already been initiated for the recruitment of police constables for male and female. The post was advertised on 15th of March 2024, and the selection exercise is currently underway at the level of the Disciplined Forces Service Commission. Mr. Speaker, sir, as regards promotion, I wish to highlight that it offers opportunities to officers for career progression and personal development and allows them to take on greater responsibilities, acquire new skills, thus contributing to their professional growth and job satisfaction. Promoting qualified individuals to leadership positions enables the Mauritius Police Force to develop a strong cadre of experienced leaders who can effectively manage and guide their teams and subordinates. These leaders play a crucial role in shaping the organizational culture, implementing strategic initiatives, and ensuring the effective delivery of police services. Effective promotion practices facilitate succession planning within the force, ensuring that there is a pool of qualified candidates ready to fill leadership positions as they become available. It boosts morale and motivation among personnel of the Mauritius Police Force by demonstrating that their hard work and dedication are valued and recognized, and fosters a sense of pride and loyalty, enhancing commitment to the mission of the police force. However, as highlighted in my reply to parliamentary question B/1441 of 14th of November 2023, it is unfortunate that promotion in the Mauritius Police Force prior to the year 2014 was minimal, leading to demotivation and low morale of police officers, and thus impinging on service delivery and efficiency. For this reason, in our government program 2015-2019, we undertook to provide the Mauritius Police Force with, inter alia, a more conducive environment, modern equipment, and new technologies. Moreover, in our manifesto of 2019-2024, we pledged that police corporals and police constables reckoning at least 20 years of service would be promoted to the grade of police sergeant upon vacancies occurring. Promotions based on merit and achievements evidently encourages officers to strive for excellence in their duties, ultimately leading to a more efficient and effective police force. Mr. Speaker, sir, I am informed by the Commissioner of Police that a total number of 4,351 police officers have been promoted to higher ranks between 2015 and 2023 as follows. For the year 2015, 228, 2016, 354, 2017, 710, 2018, 203, 2019, 349, 2020, 9, 2021, 494, 2022, 322, 2023, 1,682, making a total of 4,351. Furthermore, a total of 2,000 police officers have been promoted to higher ranks from January 2024 to date. Mr. Speaker, sir, I am tabling the information sought by the Honourable Member pertaining to promotion grade-wise in the Mauritius Police Force on a yearly basis since 2015 to 2023 and from January 2024 to date due to the numerous grades involved. Thank you.
The table has been advised that PQ B2, B273, B278 have been withdrawn. Time over. We'll move to the next item. Honorable Fukyun Bashar. Absent. We move to the next question. Honorable Tour.
B280.
Mr. Speaker, sir, the bridge located along the main road B143 in Valley de Pet is called the Bernadette de Saint-Pierre Bridge. Following the torrential rainfall which occurred on the 30th March 2022 at Moselma Ramlagan at Valley de Pet was severely impacted. A site visit was subsequently carried out on the 22nd of March 2022 by the Honorable Prime Minister and myself, accompanied by the local MPs and other stakeholders. It was noted that the existing capacity of the Bernadette de Saint-Pierre Bridge, which is 5 meters wide and 3 meters deep, is inadequate to cater for the rise of the river level during heavy rainfall, thereby resulting in an overflow at the bridge location. Mr. Speaker, sir, with a view to addressing this situation, the Land Drainage Authority has recommended the upgrading of the Bernadette de Saint-Pierre Bridge under the National Flood Management Program. The aim of the project is to provide a new bridge of adequate hydraulic capacity with footpath on both sides to ensure safe passage of pedestrians and flow of vehicles during heavy rainfall. The RDA, to whom the implementation of the project has been entrusted, has awarded the contract to Gamma Construction Limited for the sum of 27.8 million inclusive of VAT. The scope of works comprises the following. First, demolition of the existing Bernadette de Saint-Pierre Bridge. Second, construction of a new bridge of 21 meters wide and 3 meters deep. Third, traffic diversion and relocation of services. And fourth, provision of miscellaneous road equipment, such as road marking, traffic sign, rails, among others. Mr. Speaker, sir, I'm informed by the RDA that unfortunately the project has encountered some delays due to land acquisition issues. 4 portions of land had to be acquired, among which 3 plots falls within the reserve of Latania River, following several negotiations held with these private landowners. Entry of land has finally been secured on the 2nd of March 2024. I'm advised that site preparatory works and felling of trees are currently ongoing, and concurrently, the Wastewater Management Authority is undertaking temporary rerouting of the sewer pipe, which is expected to be completed by the 3rd week of May. Works on the bridge itself are expected to start by the end of May 2024. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Thank you. The Honorable Minister mentioned that the works will start by the end of May. Can he give us an indication of the estimated completion time frame for the project?
Mr. Speaker, I'm being informed that the works will last for 8 months. Thank you.
Next question.
B281.
Mr. Speaker, sir, with your permission, I shall reply to PQ B281 and B283 together as they relate to the same subject matter. Mr. Speaker, sir, I'm informed that at the request of the Forestry Service of my ministry, Mr. BWM was on 8th May 2008 prosecuted before the District Court of Mocha, Videocause number 6928/07, for the illegal construction of a concrete poultry pen of about 48 square meters on the reserve of Rivulette Saint-Louis at Avenue Cardinal, Morsema Raffray, Gibis, Paille. The judgment was delivered on the 22nd of May 2008, and Mr. BWM was sentenced to pay a fine of 2,000 rupees and cost 100 rupees. He was also ordered to remove the illegal concrete structure within a delay of 1 year. However, Mr. BWM failed to do so. A new case was therefore lodged by the Forestry Service against him for non-compliance with the court order. The case was heard on 18th of November 2009, and Mr. BWM was sentenced to pay a fine of 3,500 rupees and cost 100 rupees. However, The then District Magistrate of Mocha did not order the pulling down of the illegal structure. Mr. Speaker, sir, the Attorney General's office was consulted, and following its advice, Mr. BWM was prosecuted for a third time before the District Court of Mocha for non-compliance to court order. He was convicted and sentenced to pay a fine of 3,500 rupees plus 100 rupees as cost. However, the district magistrate again did not order for the demolition of the illegal structure. On 2nd May 2013, the advice of the Attorney General's office was sought anew on the course of action to be taken against Mr. BWM. The more so as a site visit carried out by forest officers at that time revealed that only 10 hens were reared in the poultry pen, and which, according to Mr. BWM, were meant for his own consumption. The House may wish to note that for poultry rearing to be classified as trade under the Local Government Act 2011, 25 to 500 birds are required. Mr. Speaker, sir, the Attorney General's office reiterated that the Forestry Service should proceed with the penalties under sections 15.4 and 15.5 of the Forest and Reserves Act, which respectively provide for, and I quote, any person who fails to comply with an order made under subsection 2C shall commit an offence and shall, on conviction, be liable to a fine not exceeding 5,000 rupees and to imprisonment for a term not exceeding 2 years. The court before which a person is convicted of an offence under subsection 4 may, in addition to any penalty imposed, authorize the authorized officer to remove the plant, structure, article, thing, or rubbish at the expense of the offender. End of quote. Furthermore, the matter being of a criminal nature, the Attorney General's office advised the Forestry Service to refer the case to the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions for assistance. On 30th August 2013, the DPP requested for a new case to be lodged against Mr. BWM for failing to comply with the court order of 22nd May 2008 that the pulling down of the structure built in breach of section 14.1c, 15.1, 2c, 4, and 5 of the Forest and Reserves Act of 1983. Mr. Speaker, sir, the case was lodged and called before the District Magistrate Portry on 29th of June 2019. The accused pleaded not guilty and added that he had been prosecuted several times for the same offence. As a consequence, the case was postponed for 12 August 2019 on grounds that confirmation of the Attorney General's office was required as to whether the accused was indeed prosecuted several times. Thereafter, upon request of the Attorney General's office, the case was postponed on 1st October 2019, 28th November 2019, and 20th January 2020, respectively. And on 20th January 2020, the police prosecutor informed the court that he was instructed by the Attorney General's office to withdraw the case, and consequently same was dismissed. Mr. Speaker, sir, as we note, the Forestry Service left no stone unturned to have the illegal structure erected by Mr. BWM removed. Unfortunately, this could not happen. It is good for the House to note, Mr. Speaker, sir, that following a later site visit carried out by forest officers, it has been observed that the illegal structure is still there, and due to erosion, this structure now stands partly on the river reserve and partly on the river bed. Furthermore, the structure seems to have now been converted into a residential block. In view thereof, the Forestry Service has solicited the Municipal Council of Portry for necessary action to be initiated against Mr. BWM under the provisions of the Local Government Act 2018.
May I know from the Honourable Minister, you just mentioned that the matter has been referred to the local authorities for action. May I know when was that referred to, and whether consideration will also be given to refer the matter to the construction industry authority, who now has the power given by Parliament to order, to do himself, to pull down building that is causing a nuisance and is being dangerous for the inhabitants of the neighborhood.
Mr. Speaker, sir, as I stated in my reply, we have exhausted all the legal avenues with regard to this particular issue. And now that we have been discussing with the local government to see what are the possibilities that exist at that level, to see whether they can take some actions at that level.
Thank you. In his preliminary remarks, the Honourable Minister did mention about the Forest and Reserves Act. Does he not think that the time has come for this law to be revised to empower his own ministry to act in such cases, because this illegal construction is creating a lot of havoc in the locality there, especially with regards to inundation?
Yes, Mr. Speaker, so indeed it is true that this act needs to be reviewed. In fact, we have been working on a proposed forest bill. And in fact, some of the provisions that we have already been looking at to reinforce the powers of that of the officers of the Forestry Department would include revocation of permits or clearances, and is expected to ensure strict compliance to permits and authorizations issued to applicants, including those structures illegally extended from legal structures. Offences under the new forest bill will lead to revised fines and imprisonment, and also provisions to include, upon conviction, the law will provide for the automatic removal of built structures and will no longer depend on the discretionary powers of the magistrate. These are provisions that we are contemplating to include in that first bill that we want to propose eventually.
Honourable members, I'll suspend the sitting for 1.5 hours.